Well, welcome. Today, I am going to answer the top questions I get about goal setting. This is going to be so good because goal setting is a master skill. It is the thing that you use to make the wisdom of God, the grace of God, the favor of God is what you use to channel it towards an aspect of your life to get results that don't make sense. So you, my friend, can be a sign and a wonder. Okay. And hey, we're all about speaking over ourselves. So you can start by typing in the chat, I'm a sign and a wonder. Okay. I'm a sign and a wonder. And I also want to say congratulations to you for showing up here because goal setting is a thing that many people run away from. They don't want to do it. They're afraid of the disappointment that may happen with it. It's just nerve wracking to own a direction and all of those things. So you're on here because you're probably a goal setter in some way, shape, or form, and you want to get better at it. So I'm here to say congratulations. I'm super pumped that you're here. This is going to be so worth your time. I know that you're quote unquote paying for this with your attention, but I want you to show up like, man, I paid 2 grand to be here because you're going to get so much value from this. And it is going to change the way you approach goal setting forever. Okay, forever. So, again, super pumped that you're here. Now, I started learning the art like consistently of goal setting early on, but I want to say I went all in as an entrepreneur on it 15 years ago. So that's a decade and a half. So I've been working on goal setting for a really long time. And I want to start off by saying this, right? Goal setting is not something we want to be perfect at, it's something we want to be better at. It's not about perfection, it's about better. And so you're here and you're embracing this process. Maybe you come on a rise and shine, you're setting your goals every week, you set the goal for the year, you're always looking at these things, you're wondering if you're getting it right. The mere fact that you are doing it, you're learning about it, you're iterating, that's what we do till we become very, very, very effective at goal setting. So today on Arise and Shine, and I'll tell you about Arise and Shine in a second. On Arise and Shine, we had our board meeting with God, which is where we set goals for the week. And I remember telling them, I said, guys, this is not about perfection. This is not about you getting bored with doing the same thing, right? We don't get bored with the basics. We get better at the basics. But this is showing up and deciding every day, I'm going to be 10% better at setting these goals. I'm going to be 10% better. So I want you to think about it because this is what we're doing here. If you get 10% better, which you're not going to be 10% better after this call, you're going to be so much better. Okay. But if you get 10% better every week at setting goals, what ends up happening is every week you're pointing your week in the most profitable direction for all areas of your life. It means that every week you're able to get a lot more done by doing less because you're doing the right things, not just a lot of things. It means that you'll be in a position where you can spot shiny object syndrome from like 2 miles away, right? And your life every week will move faster and faster and faster. And so, what people will get done in a year, you can legit get it done in 2 weeks, right? And if you want that life, type in the chat, I want that life, because you can have that. You can have that. I remember I wasn't sitting. I was watching a basketball game. Okay. I was watching a basketball game and I saw Mark Cuban, who was the owner of Dallas Mavericks at the time. I saw him sitting down, wearing a t shirt, enjoying the game. And I remember thinking, I said, here is this guy. He owns 150 companies. That's at that time. So this is probably about 10 years ago. He owns 150 companies. He owns the Dallas Mavericks and he's chill at a basketball game, enjoying the game. I'm like, I have one company and I have less than 10 employees. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't handle this. So the problem is not the time. The problem is how the person who has the time is using the time. And so when you understand goal setting, you put yourself in a position where you become so good at using your time, this one precious life, so you can get things done faster, you can change faster, you can become faster, like all of these things. And I want nothing more than that from you. So big hi to everyone. I see people joining us from Trinidad and Tobago. I see people joining us from Philadelphia, Chicago, all the places. So welcome, welcome. Super pumped you're here. And we are going to get into this. So on Arise and Shine this morning, and if you don't know about Arise and Shine is a prayer meeting we do every single day. We have done it every day for 5.5 years at this point. And it is where God coaches us, God teaches us, God helps us to grow in wisdom and all. It is the most practical, like prayer meeting you've ever been a part of, right? And so it's not just come and I'll pray for your needs. That's not what it is. We are in God's school. Okay, he helps us grow in spiritual intelligence. He teaches us things. It's just so much fun. Okay, so if you're not a part of Rise and Shine, come join us. Okay, dcgeorgia.org/prayer every single day. Okay, all right. So, and at 6 a.m. Eastern. So on the call today, I said, hey guys, we're gonna go live today. If you have questions about goal setting, come to the Facebook group, post your questions there. I'm going to come answer those questions live. Okay. And I was so excited when I saw the questions, because the questions are very close to the questions I get asked a lot of times. Okay. And so what that means is you're going to get so many breakthroughs, even if it was not your specific question. Okay. This is going to be so good. All right. So, oh, thank you, Lord. This is going to be good. So let me read the first question out here. Okay. First question. The word goal has a negative connotation for me. Sometimes it brings up past disappointments and I get writer's block. Could you help me reframe it? If you resonate with this, say I resonate with this. Where you're like, when I think about goals, it's like it has a negative a connotation, or you don't want to do it because of the yucky feelings it brings up, and all of that stuff, right? When I do my vision retreat for the doctors in the EntreMD Business School, we do this once a year. We come in person and we set our goals for the entire year. I spend the whole time telling them how proud I am of them for setting these stretch goals and looking at it and deciding what it will take to pull it off, and owning it and saying, this is what I'm going to do, saying it out loud and all of those things, because I know how nerve-wracking it can be. I know how nerve-wracking it will be. So I'm saying the same thing to you. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you for even showing up here and saying, okay, Dr. Una, let's work this out. Let's work this out. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you a few things here. Okay. So the first thing is I have an attitude towards goal setting. And I want you to really hear me. I hear my heart. Please don't hear what I didn't say. Okay. I want you to hear me. I have an attitude towards goal setting, which means I'm going to dream big. I don't mean dream crazy. There's dreaming big and dreaming crazy. Dreaming big is, okay, my business did 3 million in revenue, and in a year, I want to take it to 10 million. Fairly big dream. If I say I want to take it to 100 million from 3 million in a year, maybe that's crazy. Okay. Now, could that happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? No, because there's so many changes you have to experience as a human, as a leader. There's so many, like the team that will take you to 10 million is very different from the team that will take you to 100 million. Okay. So there's so many changes that need to happen. So anyway, so I'm not talking about crazy goals. I'm talking about dreaming big. I dream big. And when I dream big, I go all in. Like I go all in on the personal transformation I have to experience to become the kind of person who gets that result. I go all in on the actions. I go all in leaning on my team. I go all the way in. If I don't hit it, I do not shed a tear. I do not shed one solitary tear. And I will tell you why that is. Because if I set a big goal, and if I went in on transforming to become the person who accomplishes that goal, and if I went all in on doing the actions, guess what? I will be in a better state than I would have been if I didn't set the goal at all. That's number one. And then number two is that, I just moved the timeline, keep it moving. Like I'm still going to accomplish it. I have lost nothing. You lose nothing by setting a worthy goal and going after it. You lose nothing. You become a new version of you. You do things you've never done before. You have results you've never had before. And so what? You didn't hit the exact thing like, cry me a whole river. Okay, now let me tell you where I got that attitude from. Okay, so there's a story in the Bible about David and Beersheba. Many of us, we know this story, right? So David, was back home when everybody else went to war. Okay, and then he was just, like in his house. He sees a lady taking a bath, taking a shower. Well, there are no showers then. Taking a bath, and then he decided, I really like this person, send for her, and it turns out to be somebody else's wife. And this man was at war. He was at the war, at the battle. And David says, well, he sends a message. This was one of his not very good moments. He sends a message to the leader, the commander of the army, and says, when the battle gets strong, you guys pull back so that this guy will be caught alone in the middle of the battle and he'll be killed. And so he sends a message back after all of this is done. Uriah is dead. Okay. Uriah is dead. Okay. So he takes his wife. His wife is Beersheba. He takes his wife because he had already taken her and slept with her, and then she was pregnant. So he set the husband up to die. It was just not a good thing. Okay. But regardless, so she's pregnant with a child, and God rebukes him, sends the prophet to him, rebukes him, all of those things, and tells him that the child will die. Okay. So he says the child will die. And then David decides to intercede for the child. So David had a goal. What was his goal? That this child will live. Okay. So David is fasting. He doesn't eat at all. His servants are like, please eat. He's not eating. He's praying for the child. He's doing all of these things. And then finally, the child dies. Now, after the child died, his servants then said, if he was this distraught when the child was sick, what will he do now that the child is dead? So they couldn't even bring themselves to tell him, like, sir, your child is dead. And so he notices them whispering amongst themselves. And he's like, what happened? Tell me. And then they tell him the child is dead. And David does the most amazing thing. He gets up, he goes and bathes. I was going to say shower again. There are no showers, I don't think, at that time. Okay. He cleans up, he anoints himself, and he asks them to bring him food to eat. I read that story the first time I read the Bible cover to cover. So I was about 11 or 12 years old. And I have never forgotten it. He legit got up. He was like, I set a worthy goal. I did all I could do to pull it off. I didn't hit it. He's like, I'm gonna go take a shower, get myself looking good, and have me some lunch. Right? So that story, I mean, like, this is, for me, this is over 34 years ago. I have never forgotten it. So when I have a goal, and I'm not saying this to say you won't hit your goals, but when I have a goal, my goodness, I set a worthy goal. I'm like, who do I need to become to pull this off? I start transforming. What do I need to do to pull this off? I start doing the things, and I go all the way in. And if I didn't hit it, what ifs, right? Okay, so let me give you an example. So the first book I wrote for the physician entrepreneurs, I do business coaching for physician entrepreneurs. I don't even think I have a copy here. I should probably have a copy. Pray for me. Okay, it's called the On-Trendy Method. Okay, so it's a book that I wrote, and we released it in March 5th of 2022. All right, and super cool book. And I was like, we're gonna sell 1,000 copies. Worthy goal. Why? The average book in the United States, nonfiction, will sell 250 copies for the first year. Okay, that's what they typically do. And I was like, we're not doing anything like that. And I want to put this in the hands of as many physicians as possible, because this will be good for them. This will open their eyes to what is possible for us and all of these things. So I set the goal that I'm going to do 1,000 copies in a week. Have I ever sold 1,000 copies in a week? No. Had I ever had an Amazon bestseller before? No. Had I done all of none of those things? Okay. So what did I then start doing? I said, okay, what are all the activities I need to do to pull them off? Boom, 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 boom. I had 10 strategies. Okay. Who do I need to be to pull this off? I need to be the person who, first of all, I believe I can sell 1,000 copies in a week. I need to be the person who shows up confidently. I need to be the person who sells authentically and confidently. I'm not like, ooh, am I bothering people and all of those things. So I started making all these adjustments and we went all in, like all the way in. Okay. Now, at the end of the week, how many books did we sell? 850 copies. Is 850 copies 1,000 copies? It is not. It is 150 copies short. Do you think I was sad for a second? Do you think I was sad for a minute? Do you think I shed a single tear? I did not. Because guess what? If I didn't have that goal, I would not have sold 850 copies. If I did not have that goal, I would have not put in the reps and built my sales muscle so much better. If I did not put in the reps, I mean, like, I wouldn't have what to teach my clients to say, this is how you have a bestseller launch. So I was excited. And then I went on and kept pushing across 1,000, across all of those things and kept it moving. We've done 4 other bestsellers since then, right? So am I saying be in the habit of not accomplishing your goals? No. But what I am saying is when you don't hit it, don't let it become a story. Like, I didn't hit the goal because I'm not good. I'm not the kind of person who could do this. I suck. I'm not consistent. I'm this, I'm that. Like, don't do it. So what do I do to make sure that I am excited after the deadline for my goal comes? I make sure I have a worthy goal. I make sure I do my part to become the kind of person who can pull that off. I do the work to do the work that is required for that result to happen. If these 3 things are true, I don't see it as a disappointment. I don't see it as a problem. Okay? If you're getting this, type in the chat, I'm getting this. Hit the thumbs button. Let me even see how many likes we have on this video. Let me see if you guys are already getting a ton out of this, because let me tell you, when you become comfortable and you become a pro at setting goals, my goodness, this will change your entire life. Okay? You change your entire life. So if you're getting, type I'm getting it. If you haven't liked the video, we have 19 people who've liked the video. Come on, guys. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. All right, let's get that number up. Let's get that number. Thank you, Chantal. She's like, I liked the video. Like the video. Share the video. The people in your world, oh my goodness, share it with them. Why? Because if all of you are better, guess what happened to your network? Your network just whole up level. My daughter brought the book. So that's the book, The 𝐁𝐮𝐲 Method. Isn't it so cool? I love it. It's like my first business book baby. Yeah, if you know doctors, this is a great, great, great book for them. It's changed so many lives. Anyway, so we've done thousands and thousands of copies of this. All right. Okay. So that's one angle. The other angle, I'm going to read a scripture here. It's important that you get this. But guys, let me tell you, do not let the fear of disappointment stop you from being a savvy goal setter. It's a trick. It's a trick. So from now on, you give it your best shot. Listen, most of the world's population, they don't even set goals anyway. Like, you're so far ahead. You know what I mean? Like, set it, then get better. Then set it. You didn't hit it. Get better, right? 7L Bliss is asking the name of the book. It's called the 𝐁𝐮𝐲 Method. The name of my company is 𝐁𝐮𝐲. So the 𝐁𝐮𝐲 Method. Okay, let's read a scripture here. So Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Thank you, Jesus. This is so good. I'm so happy for everyone because you are being set free in the best way possible. Now, this is what it says. It says, and we know, I'm reading from the New King James Version, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Everything is working for you. The goals you set that worked, the goals you set that didn't work, like Everything is working for you if you'll just work the process. It's always working. It either worked for you or it worked on you, but either way, it's working. So if you can just partner with God and leave, like it's not about I set the goal and I hit everything. The goal is what gives you direction. And we're going to talk about that more with another question that came. The goal is what gives you direction. The goal is what makes you put in more effort. The goal is what makes you change. All of these things. And so we're not going to stop this process because I might feel disappointed. No, no, no. Because even in the goal that was not accomplished, God can use that. God can use that. God will use that. So don't abort the process. All things work for you. Everything works for you. The delay is working. It doesn't mean God brought them. The delay is working for you. The denial is working for you. The breakthrough is working for you. The valley is working for you. The mountain is working for you. The naysayer is working for you. The troll on Instagram is working for you. Everything, all of it is working for you. So that's why we can confidently say we make progress every day and in every area of our life. Sometimes you're like, Dr. Una, I said that, but I'm not sure about what just happened here. But if you work the process and stay with God and trust God and keep moving forward and keep learning his word and keep learning his ways and keep putting the reps and keep getting better at goal setting, you'll find out it was always working. So let's look at this, right? We've read about Joseph. We've read about Joseph many times. Okay. And so here's Joseph. He's a youngster. He has a dream. Okay. And in his dream, he sees his brothers bow before him. He's the baby. There are 12, there are 11 brothers. He's number 11. There are 12 brothers. He's number 11. Right. And he sees his brothers bowing to him and all of this stuff. And then he comes and has another dream, and everybody, including his parents. Now, remember, his parents, Jacob, was the patriarch. He was the custodian of the Abrahamic blessing. He was a big deal. And then here he comes like, ooh, even my father bowed to me. Okay. This is his dream. Probably set it as a goal. Like, let's go. Okay. But when you look at his journey, and I'm not saying this will be your journey, I'm just trying to show you a picture. So when he set goals for that year, do you think he set a goal that he will be sold as a slave? Or a goal that from being a slave that he was going to go to prison? Did he see as a goal that he'll help so many people, prominent people, and 2 years later he'll still be abandoned in the prison? But at the end of the day, did he still get where he was going? Like him being sold to Egypt, God still used it. Him being in Potiphar's house, God still used it. Him being in the prison, God still used it. And at the end of the day, he became the second in command in the world superpower at the time, the only people who had food. He became so wealthy, he became so well positioned that he could gift his family a city. Like, oh, where my people are coming, I want to give them the city of Goshen. I mean, like, I live in Georgia. That's like me saying, yeah, my family is coming. I think I want them to have Atlanta. What? But that's what he did. So even when it seems like it's not working, please hear me. It is always working. Type that in the chat. It is always working for me. It is always work, and you have to have that. You have to have that confidence. If you look at the scripture we read, it says, "And we know." This was something that Paul knew. It's not like we hope. We know that all things are working together for our good. You have to know this. So yes, the thing you said didn't happen the way you wanted it to set. We're not going to fall apart because of that, because everything is still working for us. Okay? It's always working for me. This is my belief. It's always working. It may not always look like it's working for me, but it is always working for me. If you have this attitude when challenges show up, you're a rock star. You didn't hit it. You just look, what should I adjust? Where did I not show up like I could have? What transformation did I not make? All of that stuff. Boom, let's go. Let's go, because it's always working. So we don't stop. We don't quit. We don't throw away our faith. We don't throw away our habits. We don't do any of that. We keep it moving. We keep moving. We keep moving. There are many goals that I said that have not been accomplished. It has not stopped me from having a wonderful family. It has not stopped me from having a company that's been on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies for 3 years in a row. It has not stopped this YouTube channel from getting to 1 million views. It has not, like, it hasn't stopped anything. It hasn't stopped anything. So the fact that we didn't hit it, cry me a river. Okay, so that's my attitude. All right, that's question number 1. Okay, if you got it and this is like mind blowing, throw the mind blown emoji or the fire emoji, whatever you want to throw up there. Okay, okay. Number two, this is the second question. Okay, and team, thank you so much for putting all the, I know I'm telling a lot of stories and stuff. Thank you for putting the scripture references, because this is success by the book after all. Okay, okay, second question. How can I structure my goals so that they serve my long-term vision, not just short-term tasks? Okay, this is such a beautiful question. I'm going to read it again. How can I structure my goals so they serve my long-term vision, not just short-term tasks? Okay, so this is the deal. You guys hear me talk a lot about my 90th birthday, okay? And the reason I do that is, okay, so I heard this from, who did I hear this from? Brian Tracy. Okay, but many people talk about it. They're like, take the time, sit down, write your obituary, what you want people to say at your funeral, and all of those things. I'm such a visual person that I was like, there is no way that I'm imagining my funeral, because if I start doing that, I'm going to die. Okay, it's as simple as that. So I flipped it. I said, okay, I'm going to think about my 90th birthday party. And I want to think about what people will be saying. I want to think about where I would be. I want to think about the things I would have accomplished, the legacy I'm leaving, all of those things. And so I started thinking about it. And as I started thinking about it and like what I want those things to be, I was like, there is nothing. Well, I mean, there are some things, right? I was exaggerating a little bit, but I was like, there's nothing I am doing today to make that story I want people to tell me possible. There's nothing. There's nothing. And that's when I realized you can't just set a goal for the month or for the week or for the quarter. You also have to project and travel to the end. And then from the end, now decide, because this is where I'm going, this is the way I now need to behave today. These are the goals I need to have this year. If you got it, say I got it. You have to travel to the future. And you may not know the whole how I'll get there, but immediately you will know what needs to change today. All right, so let me read a scripture here. And this will be powerful because this is the wisdom of God. Okay, you guys know we talk about spiritual intelligence, and spiritual intelligence is navigating all 9 areas of your life with God-level intelligence. Okay, okay. So writing about, I'll read from verse 9. So Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9, it says, remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. So this is God. And he says, I'm God. Then he goes on to say something about himself. He says, declaring the end from the beginning. God is the person who came up with reverse engineering. Maybe you say like reverse engineer, like we made it up. He came up with it. He declares the end from the beginning. And then from the beginning, he starts walking towards the end. Because that is the way to live a life with the precision of a sniper. I am here to accomplish this. So when you see a distraction, you know it's a distraction. When you see a shiny object, you're very clear it's a shiny object. When there's something that's a fad that everybody's doing, it is very clear to you that they may be doing that, but I don't need to be doing that because that has nothing to do with where I'm going. So I want you to do this exercise. I'm going to give you homework. And if you're going to do it, type in the chat. I'm going to do the homework. Okay? Just pretend. Travel. It's your 90th birthday party. And your family's around you. And their friends around you. Your community's around you. Maybe your industry is around you. And they're reading about your life. They're reading about all 9 areas of your life. And Tim, if you can post those 9 areas of life for people who are not familiar with it. And they start saying all these things. What would you like them to say? What would you like them to say? Right? And then from there, you then come back to today. you come back to this 12-month period and you're like, okay, if I want them to say that, then what do my goals for the next 12 months need to be? It will be so much clearer, because this is the thing. We don't want to have goals for vision for the long term, goals for the year that have nothing to do with the long term, and then goals for the week that have nothing to do with the year. No, everything should be taking in the same direction. We're thinking focus. So that's why with the 20% coach journal, what you'll see is that you have a spot for your annual goals and you have a spot for your quarterly goals. So that when you come to do your week goals are not random. They're pulled off of the bigger goal. So every week you're moving in the direction of your goals for the year. You got to get it. So it all needs to be the same. It's just that you're capturing portions of it in certain time blocks. They're not separate. They're not separate at all. Okay. I'll give you an example. I was talking to my son and I said to him, I said, so what is your master skill for 2026? Okay. What is your master skill for 2026? Now, when we teach about the 9 areas of life, one of the areas of life is your intellectual development. Okay. Like my growth for this year, what new skill do I want to acquire? What new, if for somebody it may be a way of thinking, right? For someone it may, whatever it is, but there's a skill. So I used to write like a whole bunch of skills. Like I need to learn these 10 things, right? And the more mature you get in the goal setting process, you realize it's more about less, but the most important thing, not about more. Okay. So the first time I heard Brian Tracy say this, he was like, in 1998, I don't remember if that's the year, but something like that. In 1998, my goal, my skill for the year, what I needed to develop was time mastery. I was like, good for you, bro. I have 25 things I need to learn. I cannot spend a year on time mastery. But here I am years later going like, you were right, right? So I call it the master skill. And it is the one skill that if you acquire will make the biggest difference in your entire life. Okay. So I was asking him, I was like, what is your master skill? What are the skills you're going to work on for 2026? Right. And it was very interesting. Like without thinking, he said, oh, speaking. Speaking is what I need to work on, especially teaching. I'm like, that's interesting. Why do you say that? And he says, well, in my future, chances are I'm going to be a pastor and I'm going to be a businessman. And if that's the case, I need speaking for both. Do you see? Right? And so is this long, because he's 15. So is this long-term plan based on where I'm going to, is directing how I behave today. Okay. So this question about how do I structure my goals so you want to know what is that long-term vision? Now, based on that long-term vision, over the next 12 months, what should I accomplish? But it's not different from the long term. It's a subset. It's really like, this is the long-term vision. What portion of that do I want to capture in this year? Right? Okay. Let me know in the chat if you got it. If you got it, say I got it. So every yearly goal is part of a 3-year goal, is part of a long-term goal. Every quarterly goal is part of a yearly goal. Every monthly goal is part of a quarterly goal. Every weekly goal is part of a monthly goal. Do you see what I mean? It's a continuum. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But I want to make sure you guys got it, because this is super important. Now, in the beginning, if you're newer at goal setting, you might be like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do all of that. Goal setting is all about putting in the reps. This is why we do goal setting. God has us doing goal setting every single week. So we put in the reps. We get better at it. We put in the reps. So do the best you can do now, and next week do it better. Let's not make it a thing. The goal is better. It's not perfect. The goal is better. Okay, 3 people got it. Who else got it? This is important. I want to make sure you get it. I know this is heavy stuff, but you can get it. You have the Spirit of God on the inside of you. And this is God's stuff. This is the wisdom of God. This is the wisdom of God. And actually, let's practice this. Let's practice this. I'm a savvy goal setter. I'm a savvy goal. Like, start identifying that way. I'm a savvy goal setter. I'm a savvy goal setter. Type that in the chat. Type it in chat. I'm having so much fun here. Okay. Yeah? I'm a savvy goal setter. Type that. I want to pull up something for you here. So you see why I'm saying this. I don't need you to be like left to the enemy. You have us so distraught that we're setting goals. I want to show you something. So pay attention to this, okay? Now, I pulled this up. I was like, what percentage of the population sets goals? I want to show you how unique you are. Here it says, while survey results vary, approximately 3 to 20% of people set goals. 3 to 20%. And you're part of that 3 to 20%. So we're not going to fuss about not being perfect about it because we're part of the minority here, okay? And then it says, with a smaller portion, around 3 to 4% writing their goals down. So if you write your goals down, you are part of the 3% of the world's population who will write goals down. So I don't see a problem. Okay, we're just going to get better, but there is no problem. Okay, moving along. I am a savvy goal setter. Okay, now, oh, this is a great question. So this is, yeah, I pray you like the answer, but we'll go for it. How do you know which one to work on, which goal to work on now when you're a visionary? Okay. Now, I did not get the opportunity to ask clarifying questions about this question, but chances are this person is a visionary. I'm a visionary, so I get it. And every time that they keep getting newer and newer ideas and goals and things they could do and all of these things, right? So I joke about it when I talk to entrepreneurs. I like, yeah, you're a good entrepreneur. Every time you go take a shower, you get a new idea. Like this is your new idea, a new business you could start, a new vertical, like all kinds of stuff. So let me know in the chat if that's happened to you, where you get a whole flurry of ideas, right? Okay. Now, this is the deal, okay? You have a finite amount of time to accomplish specific goals, okay? And so when you find yourself being this person who's always getting brand new ideas and all of these things, you want to put them in your journal. That is what journals are for. Okay? That is what journals are for. And so for instance, I run 5 companies, and you best believe I can sit down and dream up 5 more. Okay? Okay. So when I get, so let me say for one company, so I'll use EntreMD, right? I've already talked about that on this call. So let's say for EntreMD, I'm like, did you know you can also start a certification for business coaches, people who are EntreMD certified and da 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 da. Is that a wonderful idea? Yes. Chances are I'm going to do that because, it's been in my journal for 6 years. So is it wonderful? Yes. Will I probably do it? Yes. Is this the time to do it? No. Why? Because I have a big, I have a big, hairy, audacious goal that I'm chasing down, and I cannot chase these 2 things. But the thing is, so let me explain this. But the thing is, accomplishing this goal will make it 100 times easier to do the certification. So when I'm all in on this one, I'm not missing out on the second one because I'm doing the groundwork for it at the same time. I told you guys you might not like the answer to this one, but I think you do. Let me know if you like it, right? So now when this person is talking, they're not talking about all 9 areas of life. We're all about you can have it all. When we set goals, we set, like for your yearly goals, we set goals for all 9 areas of your life and all of those things. So you can have all of that. But if you have 15 goals for each of the 9 areas, you're not going to accomplish anything. Right? So for this instance, if you see, I used a business example. So business, I have one, like for 2026, I have one thing that I'm chasing down. I want to create a 1,000 7-figure physician entrepreneurs. That is a Herculean task. And I'm going to stand with God. I'm going to partner with him. I'm going to get the frameworks. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to become the person. We're going to do that. If I then also say I want to certify 1,000 business coaches, do you see the problem? Not going to happen. So where is that beautiful idea in my journal? Where it belongs for right now. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Now, The thing with this, I'm going to give you guys some ways to look at this. I know it's a broad answer, but this is the deal. This is an art. Like, what do I work on now? What do I work on later? It's an art, and it's somewhere between discernment, strategy, counsel. You know what I mean? To determine this is where I want to go. But this is the warning I want to give, because this is the downside of being a person who gets a lot of ideas. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to understand how to control it. The place you need to avoid is the place of indecision. You cannot live in indecision, because as long as a decision has not been made, you cannot move. And if you cannot move, you cannot get any result. Any. And so you want to be in a place where you're like, I got this new idea. I'm kind of trying to figure out if this is the thing that I need to focus on. As far as I know, this is the last thing God told me to do. So I'm going all in on this while I figure it out. Indecision leads to inaction. Inaction leads to zero results. Nada. Nothing. So whatever you do, stay in a place of decision so you can stay in a place of action. For instance, I'm working this job. I think God wants me to start a business. I'm not sure. Some people, what they do is they quit their job in the midst of not being sure. I'm like, what you do that for? Who gonna pay the bills? Right? And so you working in your job, you getting better at the skills you have to use there, you building networks within your job, you doing what is required to get a promotion doesn't hurt your business. It makes it better. So while you're trying to figure out, did God really say start a business? Go all in on what is in front of you already. If you got to say, I got it. This is important. This is important. This is important. You must understand this. You must understand this. If your ideas bring you to paralysis, those are ideas that need to be in a journal so you can run with your last idea. And I know these are general statements, so that's why I'm being very careful. If you got it, say, I got it. This is important. This is important. I've seen so many people, they're waiting for clarity on an idea and they've been waiting for 12 months. I'm like, can we move? Okay, so I was listening to, I'm trying to remember, I think it was TD Jakes that said this. He made a statement, I will not forget. He was being interviewed, and the interviewer said, how would you be sure if the thing you're doing is the thing you're supposed to do? And he made the statement. He said, if it's not the thing, it's the thing that will lead you to the thing. If it is not the thing, it is the thing that will lead you to the thing. So while we're like, I don't know if it is, I don't know if it is. If it's not the thing, it will lead you to the thing that is the thing. And you didn't lose anything. For instance, I have been building a business for the last one of my businesses for the last 7 years. So EntreMD I've been building for the last 7 years. What if after 5 years, God is like, I didn't call you to physician entrepreneurs. I called you to entrepreneurs. Okay. Would I have lost anything for going all in on what was in front of me? No, because guess what happened over that time? I became the person who could speak confidently on stages. I became the person who wrote 5 books. I became the person who understands how to rock YouTube channels. I became the person who launched multiple successful podcasts. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people either grow, launch, grow, or scale their businesses. I have multiple people who are running multiple 7-figure businesses. So I'm just going to take all of that, go to the next place. I won't start from ground zero. I'll start with a bang, and people will be like, all of a sudden. There's nothing all of a sudden like that. There's nothing all of a sudden about it. Okay? If it's not the thing, it will lead you. It's the thing that will lead you to the thing. It's the thing that will lead you to the thing. You got to understand this. Why? So you can walk confidently in what you're doing. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I cannot tell you that I have a clear path of exactly where I'm going to be at 60. I don't know. but I know what I should be doing now. So I'm 110% all in on doing what I should be doing now. That's it. So can you be 110% in? If you are, I'm all in. I'm all in. We can't be second guessing our lives and staying in analysis paralysis and all of those things. Okay. All right, pray for me. I got 2 questions left. I think we'll do one. Okay. So it's time to move. It's time to go all in. It's time to become. It's time to take the difficult task, but the things that move the needle forward and do those things. It's one life, guys. Okay. Now, I did a video called 2026 Starts Now, right? How to set goals like the best of the best. That's what you're going to watch after this, to go back and say, okay, now I got it. So these are my goals. This is who I need to become. This is what I need to do. Bam. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So the team will post that in the chat. That's the next one. Okay. So this question, oh my goodness. Now, if you don't have the 20% coach journal, you want to get the 20% coach journal. Okay. This is a tool that we use to tame our week. So every week we're living in alignment with all our goals. And every week we get better at it. Okay. So if you haven't got it, best 20 or 30 bucks you'll spend, depending on if you're getting the paperback or the hardcover, it will blow your mind what will happen to you as you use it. Okay. Now, this person asked this question. And this is a powerful question, especially if you use the 20% coach journal. Okay. I find myself putting tasks as my weekly goals. Okay. So tasks are tasks, goals are goals. Okay. So pay attention to this. I find myself putting tasks as my weekly goals, but I don't know if that is correct. On a longer time frame, so if we're thinking a year, a quarter, whatever, it's easy to put goals, but weekly, I find myself very task oriented. Okay, so we're going to start off by saying I am very goal oriented. Type that in the chat. We're shifting identities here. I am very goal oriented because this is what you want to be, not task oriented. And I'm going to explain it. So this is a powerful question. I saw it. I was so excited. I was like, yes, thank you for asking this. Let's clear this up. I am goal oriented. Okay. All right. Now, this is the best way. This is the best analogy I can use to answer this question. Okay. This is the deal. And you may be thinking, all this goal setting, I'm Christian, I'm just going to pray, all those things. Remember, God said in his word, the psalmist was praying. He said, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. God says, I declare the end from the beginning. Goal setting is a God idea. And you will never find a peak performer who does not set goals. You will never find it. Okay, so let's look at this, okay? Now, I'm so grateful. God gave me a word picture, so I pray you will never forget this. You'll never forget this. This is what it is. Okay, so think of this whole goal setting process and all of this stuff as the GPS. Like literally your goals are like the GPS that are trying to walk you through life. Okay, trying to walk you through life. So your goals are the destination you plug in, right? I'm trying to go to 300, Peachtree Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia. That address is your goal. Okay. Now, the goal, when you don't put in the directions, you put in the goal. The goal then determines what the tasks will be. And the tasks are like your direction. Turn left on Medlock Bridge. Turn right on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. The directions, like those are then your tasks that lead you to your goal. So having tasks, like random tasks, and when you check, you're like, I'm busy. If you have tasks that are not led by goals, you run the risk of being someone who is very busy, but you don't have the results to show for your busyness because the busyness is not connected to a goal. Okay, I'm going to let that sink for a second. If you got it, say I got it. If you got to say I got it. The best spent week is a week spent in a way where 80% of your time, your work time, was used working on the exact tasks that would take you towards your exact goal. You got to get this. You like these 4 questions that we've answered, you get them, you're straight. You're straight. In 90 days, people go like, who are you and what is going on? Okay. So GPS, you put in the address. If you don't put in the address, your GPS will not give you directions. Why? You should not have directions until you've decided where you're going. It's just that we can just come up with tasks and we just doing stuff and we busy and all of that stuff. Where are you going? We don't know. Okay. So what that means is when you come to the week, you should have goals and tasks, right? Or goals and activities. For instance, if you're an entrepreneur, you can say, I'm going to tweak my website. I'm going to talk to some of my referral sources. I'm going to hire a new person. Are these all good things? Yes. But again, that's direction with no address. Where are we going? Now, if you say for this week, my goal is to create $50,000 in revenue. Do you see automatically tweaking your website might not be a thing you want to do? Now you have to ask yourself, what is the activity? What is the task that will create $50,000 in a week? And you might say, well, I have all these prospects I haven't talked to. Okay, so we're going to talk to 40 prospects. I have all these people coming up for renewal. Like, well, we need to talk to the people coming up for renewal. I have these referral sources. These people always send me people. Then we're going to go and we're going to thank them for what they did and give them more resources, cards, whatever, to continue to refer to us. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so we don't want to the same way we don't want to have like monthly goals without a yearly goal is the same way we don't want to have tasks that we're doing for a week without having goals. So with your goals, you're thinking outcome, then your tasks or activities. Okay. You need both, but you want okay. So when I got the download for the 20% Coach Journal, this was the word that came to my spirit: focus. Focus. If all your activities are focused and all your goals are focused, and you can streamline, like even what you're meditating on is focused to take you to where you need to go, and you're paying attention to all these things. He says the amount, the level of strides you'll make in the same time in a 90-day block will shock you, right? So I want you to imagine where you have your goals for the year, right? That are in alignment with your long-term vision. You have your goals for the month. Then every week you come and you're like, of these goals for the month, I will capture this piece. I'll capture this piece. Now, in order to capture this piece, these are the things I need to do. Then you spend your time doing those things. Let me know in the chat, what do you think will happen to your life if you did that for 90 days? Annual goals, monthly goals. This week, I'll capture this part. To capture this part, this is what I need to do. You schedule on your calendar, you go do it. What will happen to your life in 90 days? I want to know. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Because we don't have the goals top of mind, or they're top of mind, but we haven't broken them down to weekly, we waste days and we waste weeks because we're like, every time since I've been alive, every day I wake up, so I got an infinite number of these things called days. We don't. We don't have an infinite number, and we're all going to live a very long life, but we don't. Okay, let me know in the chat. What do you think will happen to you? I know you'll be unrecognizable. I know. So you want to have goals, by all means. You want to have tasks, by all means, but the task must be led by the goal. Otherwise, you could be very busy, but not as productive. not as productive. So I'm waiting for you guys. Let me know in the chat. You do this for 90 days. You take the time to set focused weekly goals, and you take the time to define the activities that will get you there, and you spend the week doing that. Because what else are you doing? What else are you doing? Right? Anita says mindset transformation. Hi, Risha. She says explode. Right? Elder Monique, amazing transformation. Who else? What do you think? Denise, hi, Denise. The trajectory to increasing the actual results will take place. Yes. Yes. And then you do this for 90 days. You became so much better at doing it. So the following 90 days will be even better. That's great transformation. And it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind, right? So this is what I'm leaving you with. Number one, embrace the process of goal setting. Don't run away from it. Okay. Few people in the world do it, and high performers all do it. Okay. You're a high performer. Okay. So you do this now, and you have the David attitude. If you didn't hit it exactly the way you wanted, cry me a river, whatever. Learn what you need to learn, do it better. Let's go. Okay. Okay. And then the next thing is don't stay in indecision for anything. Don't stay in indecision. Take the best goals that you have, work on them. If you're getting a lot of ideas and you're not sure, put them in your journal. When it's time to pray, go sit with God and pray about them, right? And get clarity and all of stuff, but stay in motion. Okay. All right. And then do your 90-day birthday, like what you want read, and then look back and say, based on that, what should I be doing now? What kind of goals should I have now? Do that. And then finally, don't just pick random tasks. Every task you're doing, at least 80% of the tasks you're doing, should be taking you in the direction of your most important goals. It should be taking you in the direction of the dream life, all the things that you set for your 9 areas. That's how you don't waste time. That's how you live strategically. That's how you get a whole lot done by doing a lot less. So people sometimes ask me, how do you get all these things done? I'm like, my life is not as nearly as busy as it looks. Not nearly as busy as it looks. Do I do a lot of stuff? I do. But it's not as like I'm not living in chaos and crazy. And no. I have peace and quiet. I can homeschool my kids. I have time to pray and do all of this stuff. I have all of those things. Why? Because I've learned to take all these useless tasks that have nothing to do with where I'm going and toss them. And many of them are good. Many of them are great, but not great for me because they're not taking me where I need to go. So I use this very great word called no. I don't do it. Okay. So I'm rooting for you. So what I want you to do after this video, the team already posted the link. 2026 starts now. That's the video you want to watch. And I want you to take a moment after this and type in the chat the biggest aha you got from this session. Okay, so I'm so thankful for the people who posted their questions, but I want you to share your biggest aha so that this becomes a video we can come back to over and over again, and we can read the comments and we can learn the application of these things to so many people. So be as specific as possible, share it in there, and be sure to share this video with the people in your world. This is part of how we live a life of global impact, and I will see you on the next video. 2026 starts now. Rooting for you always.